So, welcome to the show. We have an atheist here with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself, atheist?
Yeah, hi. My name is Vince, and I actually really welcome this opportunity to explain my situation and my beliefs. So hopefully, I could inspire or give you my thought process of where I am today.
Wonderful. So, you are an atheist, correct? You're an atheist right now. Is that true?
That's correct. I didn't start that way. When I was a young child, many years ago, I came from a very Catholic family, very strong upbringing in terms of being a Catholic, going to church every Sunday, going confession every week, very religious in terms of prayers at dinner. But the situation changed as time went on.
So, you were said you had a Catholic background. You also went to Catholic school, isn't that correct? You grew up in the Catholic school
That's right. I
system?
went to elementary Catholic school, a very strict upbringing in terms of discipline and family, and I think I learned a lot in that type of family environment. Yeah, it was. I was very religious, very faithful. I said my prayers every night before I went to bed, and it was a really great family environment. And but things changed as you go through life, and I could explain some of the situations I went through.
Yeah. So, what was that deciding factor for you to say, okay, I'm Catholic now. I believe in everything that Catholicism teaches. But what was that deciding factor to say, okay, maybe God doesn't exist. Maybe I'm going to question what I believe?
Well, that's a great question. I always believed in God and He would do the right thing in terms of my destiny in life. But what I actually saw is that I try to do the right thing always, but the situation never really, came to my favor. So I saw a lot of different things, in terms of situations that I saw bad people getting good things and good people getting bad things. And I said, well, how's that possible if God was out there protecting, what's right and what's wrong? And situations where my dad got sick and he had cancer, and I said, why did he get this disease? And he didn't deserve it. He's a hardworking man, provided for the family all his life, never took a vacation, and now, and I it was like, why this type of thing to him? So I built a lot of doubts, and as time went on through my childhood, and today, I look at too, like I experienced things that I said, why would God allow this to happen? Things like when I see little children being born with certain diseases, that these guys they never did anything. He just just were born. Why would God impose something like that to these little children? So as time went on, built a lot of doubt of there's really a God out there.
Yeah, that's definitely a common thing I see a lot with atheists. Is a lot of times they'll be saying, "Well, why did God allow this, that, and the other?" And one thing that I really emphasize is free will. And you're going to say, "Well, how does that apply to children?" Right? Children don't have free will, and that is true. But I do believe that because of our original sin nature that happened, things started to get worse over time with Adam and Eve's sin. I really believe that it's Adam and Eve's sin that started this fallen world that we're in, and all these different things happen. Like cancer wasn't really a thing, obviously, in the Bible times, but now we see all these things and these rise of cancerous things because of the things that have happened. Like you smoke for years, you can get cancer. There's a lot of risks out there of different things that we've caused, even climate change. I made an episode, did the fall of mankind cause climate change? Because us as human beings, we're the ones really causing the earth to have all these problems. And a lot of these problems, unfortunately, are caused by human free will, saying I can make choices and do whatever I want, and I can either do good choices or bad choices throughout my life. Now, what do you think about that with this concept of free will? Do you believe that we have free will as a human being? What do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of outside, variables that cause certain situations. Just going back to my childhood, I know with my mom, she was very religious, and she embedded that into our family. But then when she passed away, it was very difficult for me, and I always try to say, give me a sign that you're out there, that you're looking over us. And I prayed, and I never really saw any signs in terms of her, afterlife. which I hope there is, but I have doubts. I haven't, seen any evidence of it. Same thing with my dad. I always prayed to see, just give me a sign you're out there and looking over us. And so I never saw that. And I said to myself, how, what is really life about? And I said, if God's really there, please just give me some signs that I could, at least have faith there is something there. And as much as I prayed, as much as I tried to look for certain signs, nothing never really appeared to me. So that's why I doubted things, and I kind of changed my thought process of being a really, a strict Catholic in terms of practices to, being where I am today, which I believe I am an atheist today, which I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's where I believe in for today.
Yeah, so we're going to get into some of the questions from our audience. That, what you just said, kind of leads into one of the first questions that we got. This is, how do you know that the way of life that you're living now is the right way? And how do you know what's the best way to live, living this way as an atheist?
Well, I don't say it's the right way or the wrong way, but I think it's something that, I look at people in life and I say, is there really an afterlife? If there was, there should be some signals to people in terms of there is something there, right? And like I said, I try to pray and see, my mom is out there looking with her spirit, my dad, but regardless what I do, I don't see anything really out there that kind of validates there's a spiritual life out there.
Yeah, so, you said that, you don't think your way of life is the right way or the wrong way. If somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm a Christian, or, I'm Catholic, I'm Protestant, or whatever I believe in, I really have a true, strong faith in God, are you going to be one of those people to say, well, no, God doesn't exist? Or are you just going to be like, no, if that lifestyle works for you? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's more of a personal decision as you experience life, in terms of things that happen to you. And I don't think it's, it's the rule of law, because it's really different from each person as they go through life. But again, I don't really want to say things are the right way with being an atheist or a Catholic being the right way. And because you look at the world today, there are so many different religions and people go to war because of religion. So that's a powerful statement in terms of how people view religion. So it's different versions of religions, different concepts of religions, different philosophies, but that, to where we are today, people with religion is really a global thing, and it's a powerful statement out there in terms of what religion's about. But again, I don't see religion driving my life in terms of what's right, what's wrong. I have to make my own personal decisions, but people have to make their own decisions in terms of what they want to do.
Yeah, so that leads into another question that we got from one of our viewers that says, how do you define evil?
Well, that's a great question. What's to me evil is when you do harm to other people, and I don't say it has to be physical harm, but it could also be certain things that you say about people, and that's to me just as bad as hurting people. So evil is when people take advantage of other people, do not respect other people. Religion really shows you that, what daily practice you should follow. But being atheist, I follow the same path. I look at evil as not the right way to go, and I try to treat people the right way. But evil is something where it has different components to it. Like I said, it could be words, it could be physical, and it could also be the way you treat people day to day.
Yeah, so do you believe in a concept of, like, are we all good? Like, do you believe there's actually a such thing as a good person, or do you believe that nobody's good?
Yeah, I think that's I think everybody has good and bad, right? So I don't think there's a perfect human being out there that says I did everything perfectly in life, and I think situations sometimes make people do things that are not the right way to go, but circumstances may have to dictate that. Even in day-to-day life in terms of work, people sometimes don't treat people well. They bully people. Even in social events, people are bully people in schools. It's just, I think it's really more of your upbringing in terms of what your family life is about and how they teach you, what's right and wrong. And even when they do that at home, kids sometimes don't follow, what they should really do. But, they look sometimes at what's popular to do or what's funny to do and get more, socially with other kids. So, but that's not the right course out there.
Yeah, so we have, I guess maybe one or two more questions that we'll ask you if you don't mind here. So the next question that we're going to be asking you is, what are your fears or hesitations about believing in God? Why do you feel that way? So is there anything that's holding you back right now from saying, I want to believe in God, He's real?
Yeah, be honest with you, I haven't given up on God. I do continually sometimes, and I do pray. Even though I'm an atheist, I look and pray because I really want a sign that there is a God, there is an afterlife, that we could all say, it's the kingdom of what people really would say. It's the world of the best you can ever imagine. But I haven't given up on that. I just believe that sometimes when I see situations, things not going, I just not, it goes my way, or but I think I always try to do the right thing, and when things don't go that way, you doubt yourself and you doubt if there's really a God out there. But I always keep that door open in terms of pray, and hopefully He would answer my prayers and give me a sign that there is something out there that I could have faith on.
That's great. That's really great. I'm glad that you have such an open mind still, because many atheists, unfortunately, that I've seen don't have that open mind where they're open to this idea that maybe God does exist. And that's more leaning more towards the agnostic side, which you said that you were agnostic for a time there. So my last question, I guess I would want to ask you is, would you be open to experiencing faith or spirituality again? Would you be open to be exploring it and going back to church and maybe reading the Bible or praying more? Would you be open to that concept?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a very strong family support, especially my daughter, who believes strongly in the faith, and she reads me a lot of Bible stories, and I think how they relate to today's situation, she develops a parallel to what the Bible was about and how we living today. I definitely want to be open, and I'm not, like I said before, I do not want to close the door, but I do have doubts, but I will always be open to continue praying, even though I'm an atheist. But I also want to make sure that there is hope for and for people, but don't view people negatively if they are atheists or Catholic or whatever religion they choose to follow. It's important that people make choices based on what they believe. A lot of people believe it's scientific, that the world was created by science, but I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I just follow what my thoughts are, my vision, and I just want to thank everybody that supports me in this position I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so glad to support you on your journey here of faith. Now, do you have any other closing remarks you'd like to share with the atheist community or the agnostic community out there, or even people who are Christian, or maybe people who are of other religions? Any final thoughts or words?
Yeah, I mean, closing, I would always say to people is follow your dreams if that's what you want to do. I just want people to continue exploring, in terms of what religion's all about. There's no right or wrong answer. I think if you continue following a journey of open mindedness in terms of prayers, or don't, if you're a true atheist, you just believe in what you want to believe, but you make sure that you follow the path of good in terms of everyday activity, and always try to do the best you can in life, and especially with your family and your coworkers and people that you deal with every day.
Well, thank you so much, Vince, for joining us on the podcast. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with your atheist and agnostic friends. We really appreciate you guys watching and listening to the podcast. Have a blessed day, everyone. If you found today's episode interesting, please feel free to share it with a friend. Have a blessed day.